Are you pouring into your family's bucket, or are you just pouring into anybody's bucket who gets to control you? So if you want to know what the goal is, what the if you I mean the goal is, this ain't got to be hard. This is not complex. If you want to know the goal of the All Black National Convention is to say, how do we take everything we got and make sure we're pouring into our bucket? The goal is simple. We're there to say, Black community is number one. That's the most important community to ever exist. Our families matter more than anybody else's families. We want our people to do better. We're pouring into our buckets. That means bring your scientists, bring your doctors, bring your lawyers, bring your plumbers, bring your electricians, bring your school teachers, and let's figure out how to pour into the bucket. What's your bucket? And if you don't know what your bucket is, figure out what it's supposed to be. You're not here to pour into everybody else's bucket. A lot of y'all do that. You pour so much into everybody else, but you pour nothing into yourself. You pour nothing into even in your own family, not in a way that's gonna lead to something generational. We work too hard not to be independent, secure, and self-reliant. We work too hard for that. So you know how to work hard. The next step for all of us is to figure out, well, what does it mean to work smart? Does that make sense? Let me know if that makes sense. I had to spend a moment on that point because I really want you to understand that. Pour into your bucket. Your family has a bucket. Go find it. Pour into the damn thing. If you ain't got a family and you're young enough to make one, go make one. Or if you're too old to make one, go build one. Go find people that want to be part of your family and pour into that bucket. Legacy, institutionalize things. That's how you build wealth. That's how you get power. Every institution in America, every multi-billion-dollar institution in America ain't nothing but a bucket that somebody poured into consistently. Pour into your damn bucket. Woo, this is good. Man, Dr. Claude, I love this man. I mean, can we just talk about how much we love? I'm reading ahead, and I'm like, I was gonna stop, but I gotta keep. Okay, this is good. All right. Okay. So, all right. So here's what Dr. Anderson says. He says the wave of computerized technology that began in the 1960s rendered marginalized Black labor to be obsolete. It established a new public policy that maintained the inequalities between the races, absolved members of the majority society from feeling any guilt or accepting responsibility for what had happened to Black people, and categorically denied support to public policy or programs that would shift control and ownership of wealth and power resources from whites to Blacks. Now, the reason I was just sitting here like laughing because this next section is a trip. He says, why were Blacks the preferred slaves? It says here, this is page 44 of the book Dirty Little Secrets by Dr. Claude Anderson. You can go to powernomics.com if you want to get a copy. Powernomics.com. All right. It was not by simple chance that the Black race was selected for enslavement. It resulted from a process of elimination. Europeans were not interested in enslaving members of their own race. Asians were protected by geographical barriers. Indians refused to be enslaved, indicating a willingness to die first. What group was left? Blacks. The Catholic Church recommended blacks because they felt one Black slave was worth 3 or 4 Indian slaves. More specifically, African Blacks were selected and effectively enslaved for at least 5 reasons. 1, they had an agricultural history based upon an extended family work system. Number 2, they lacked a broad sense of community based on skin color and were divided along the lines of tribalism, could not stick together.